After the mixed bag experience of The Sims 2 Castaway on Nintendo Wii, it's time to check out the next game, that being The Sims 2 Pets. And yes, it's just the PS2 game with tacky Nintendo Wii controls forced onto you, with even more worse controls altogether. As such, I will not be going in depth with this version. The PSP and PS2 reviews are much more in depth, yet they also flopped hard. So why do that for a third time? Exactly. So this one will be short, as I'll just give you the basics. So let's see if the Wii version of The Sims 2 Pets is worth playing akin to the PS2 version, shall we? The entire concept of The Sims 2 Pets is now you can have pets in The Sims.
Well, no!
Tend to them, teach them tricks, make sure they're happy, and live your own life along the way, all in a new location defaultly called Whiskerton, where everyone is obsessed with pets. Thankfully no cats got the Shane Dawson experience. Jumping right into Create a Sim, we experience this game's awful graphics and terrible controls straight away. Good God, is this game just terrible to look at and play already? More controls later on, but for now, we gotta make Sims with the usual options from The Sims 2 for consoles. Except, just like the PS2 and PSP, there's barely any content here to make Sims, so enjoy your vast limitations of fashion, hair, facial hair, and accessories. Oh, and yes, just like The Sims 2 Castaway, you cannot change your Sims' eyebrows and eyes. Everyone has brown eyebrows and eyes no matter what, except when you choose the alien skin. Man, I'm not having any real fun with this port of the game so far. Let's hope Create a Pet will be more worth checking out than Create a Sim. Creating pets is the same as the PS2, with no signs of the alien or robot cat or dog option from the PSP. Very disappointing that the PSP gets exclusive breeds like those, as they were very unique in appearance and sound. I mean, who didn't own a robot toy back in the 2000s or 1990s? Those things were all the rage, whether it was Pokemon, Digimon, Tamagotchi, Neopets, or even one of those Japanese robot toys.
Oh, those were the days!
Anyways, you can make cats and dogs by choosing a breed or mixing them, and then altering their fur, colors, patterns, body shape, and then giving them fashion, a name, and picking their personality traits. Nothing really special, just a PS2 game with less enjoyable controls. So what is there to even say? You got a decent amount of breeds, though most of them are dogs. So just make something, name them, and then go ahead and make them a snob like the average vegan or Linux user, or make them into slobs or very aggressive that you might as well name your dog Cujo. And that's about it. Let's move into the town of Whiskerton by choosing one of a few different lots available, and then begin building our house so we can play the game. So, once you start playing, the controls become very convoluted. I'll save the details for their own section later, but for now you just need to know it's not exactly easy navigating the UI and placing walls or objects. This build mode just doesn't really work with this control scheme. Another thing I noticed is that the fire code meter seems to be smaller than the PS2, so it's more akin to the PSP limitations, but not as severe. Damn, what a letdown for a next-gen console experience. But hey, it's Nintendo, what else is new? No, but seriously, what appeal is there to this game's controls on Wii? I'm fighting the nunchuck and Wiimote just to play this game and build a basic house. That's not normal, nor a good thing. Another weird thing I noticed is, even if you're supposed to be able to pick up objects like windows and doors or furniture, this port won't let me do that no matter what buttons I press. The indicator on screen doesn't work. I can't pick up a window I placed wrongly. So if I want to get rid of it, I gotta press the undo button, which is only good for a single undo/redo. Yikes. I'm not having any fun so far. And that brings us to buy mode, as placing objects is very clunky as well. I mean, rotating them with the Wiimote D-pad while also having to use the nunchuck to move stuff around. This is so uncomfortable. Moving the camera around is a pain as well, as it requires a button combination because of the lack of buttons on Nintendo controllers till about the Wii U and Switch. It literally took Nintendo over 30 years just to make a normal controller, and even then the Joy-Cons are something only little Asian women can use comfortably.
It's funny because it's true.
Plus, why does the game keep switching between the Wiimote cursor with motion controls to a normal control scheme as I navigate the UI and place objects? This is so confusing. Just stick to one and not the other. Fuck.
Calm down.
Fuck it, we're done building and placing stuff. We gotta move on to the actual gameplay, starting off with the controls. Oh lord, the controls. It makes Castaway look good in comparison.
Good God.
This game decided it doesn't know when it wants to use a cursor via Wiimote and when you want to actually play it like a traditional game, as you're always swapping between the two at random depending on the menu and control scheme selection, because just like The Sims 2, on other consoles, you can directly control Sims or swap to the traditional point and click.
It's good.
Yet the point and click option doesn't work, as no matter what I click on, the Sim just goes there. He just moves to that spot. It won't let me select an object or Sim to interact with. I can't even interact with pets with this control scheme at all, unlike the PS2 or PSP. Shocker.
That's bad.
Here's the control layout. Now explain to me how this is comfortable, enjoyable, intuitive, and good. I'll wait. Oh, and yes, I tried to find the manual online, let alone plain text of the controls, but there's literally no sites containing this information. Appears the Wii version of this game is not exactly that beloved if there's no preservation of a fucking manual. You can't. This shit is god awful. I'd rather get a colonoscopy for porcupine than play this game.
Oh Christ!
There's no speed up option, nor pause time option either. Yep, this port, because of the terrible Wii controls and limited inputs, nothing new for a Nintendo console, you cannot speed up nor pause the game.
Is this some kind of joke?
Outside of the bad controls, we gotta talk about how the Sims 2 needs are still a pain with no cheat code to max motives like in other games. This means you'll be dealing with needs non-stop and barely given any free time to work or play with pets. Yeah, this game sucks, from peeing yourself to fainting because you're starving. Also, needs do not fill up as much nor as fast in this port for some reason, so get used to spending all your money just to eat several roasts, because your Sims don't get much filling from each plate. Jesus fucking Christ.
I couldn't make this shit up. I couldn't make this shit up if I tried. I'm sad that I lack the talent to make this shit up.
Problem right away, outside of the controls and needs, is you got nothing to really do, as most gameplay objects from The Sims 2 was removed in favor of pets. So you wanna surf? Can't. Gotta make room for several versions of the same litter box. Wanna go to space? Can't. Gotta make room for several versions of the same pet food bowl.
Bruh.
This game has very little stuff to play with. Unless you're obsessive over pets, you won't have anything to really do. All besides tending to your needs non-stop, since there's no cheat code for them. Seriously, why the fuck is there no fucking cheat code to deal with the fucking needs? I'm tired of having to fucking take a shit every fucking 5 seconds.
Do I look like a happy camper to you?
I know you told your friend you're not okay.
Didn't think so.
So yeah, the pets, you gotta love pets. All they do is piss everywhere, leave behind tons of dandruff and pet hair on everything, not to mention puke and pee on everything as well. Yeah. Oh, and they cost a lot of money. Plus, there's a ton of legal jargon you gotta deal with these days because bureaucrats had to find more reasons to stay employed. Yeah, no thanks. The older I get, the less I like children and animals. I just don't like them anymore that much. As I get older, I like being alone. Maybe hang around a single person at best every now and then. To me, loneliness is bliss. So what can you even do with pets? You can play with them and teach them tricks. Yep, that's it. Also, there's barely anything for pets to play with. It's almost as bad as The Sims 4 cats and dogs, but not quite. All you get is a doghouse and a scratching post. The rest is bought in the town square. So how about we cover that next?
What else is on?
In the town square, you use paw points you earn from interacting with pets. Or just buy them using simoleons. With these, you can now buy stuff at the square, whether you want to adopt a pet or even sell one. You can get your pet washed, buy new toys or condos, scratching posts, and even more pet food bowls, because you gotta have more pet food bowls. Can't have enough pet food bowls. Why is there so many fucking pet food bowls? You got treats at the bakery, and even a boarding house to tend to your pets if you need a break, let alone can't really take care of them right now. You got a coffee cart and a tree to play with cats on. Over time, if you buy enough stuff at each store, they'll get a cosmetic upgrade with an inventory expansion as well. If you buy enough coffee, you can see another stand appear, and then another. It's a neat idea that as players play the game, the town square expands and changes appearance with additional stuff to interact with and buy. Too bad this port is so bad, I refuse to play it enough to show you these changes. Go watch my PS2 review instead if you want a more in-depth one.
Yeah, okay, fine. I just...
When it comes to graphics, this game is fugly, but not as bad as the PSP version. It also has pretty fast load times and not as much stuttering or freezing in comparison to the PlayStation 2 version. Navigating UI is a clunky mess, sure, but there's no waiting for objects to render in their respective windows so you can see what you're selecting before placing it. Honestly, if this port had a normal controller option, I would see it working out much better.
Well, it's obvious, isn't it?
Out of all 3 versions I've covered now of the same game, the PSP is the worst, Wii is the second worst, and the PS2 is the best. Not surprisingly, the Xbox never got this game, only GameCube, Gameboy Advance, and DS. But I have no interest in reviewing any more GBA or DS games given they flop on my channel, and are a pain to make into videos. So with all that said, if you gotta play The Sims 2 Pets on console, make sure it's the PS2 version. And with that, we only have one game left to cover, so whenever I can get to The Sims 3 for Wii, I will. I'm very interested in that game because apparently it's so technically flawed and restrictive, but also open world with unique gameplay mechanics not seen in any other Sims game to date. So yeah, that one will be more fun to check out than yet another third version of the same exact game like here and Castaway. Anyways, time to wrap up this review.
It's about time.
At the end of the day, The Sims 2 Pets for Nintendo Wii is a lackluster, restrictive, clunky, boring port of an already not so good game on PS2. It's not as bad as the PSP version, however, as I can actually build in this port, but it's the second worst looking one with terrible controls. Honestly, I'll give it 2 stars for mediocre and recommend it. You can always do worse with the PSP version in a way. Anyways, that's it for this video. See you all later.
What?